10 steps wholesalers must take right now to survive a real estate wholesaling crash and a real estate crash. What's up, guys? Zach in here.
Rick in here.
And in today's video, we're going to break down the 10 steps you must take right now to survive during a real estate crash. Now, we don't know if there's going to be a real estate correction, a real estate crash. Heck, real estate can theoretically go up, right? I mean, in the next 10 years, real estate will be going up. But for the next year or two, real estate can pull back 10%, 20%. I mean, in our market last time, it pulled out 50%. Or it could just stay the same. The best thing you need to understand, though, is if things get basically bad, you're going to know what to do. It's like having a hurricane or earthquake or tornado preparedness guide. You don't really need it unless something's going down, but it's pretty, when the thing goes down really quick, it's really good to know what to do during that crazy situation. It's like knowing what to do during a fire or if your car goes underwater, right? You just want to be prepared. And that's what we're going to do today. We are not here to scare you, give you crazy things and tell you the world's ending, right? But I just want you to be prepared, our Flip with Rick audience watching this, because you guys out here are trying to become better by watching our stuff, and we want to give you the good facts. We see too many gurus out here creating fear, trying to sell you a course on how to deal with a crash, right? Really what we want to do is give you the 10 steps you need to take to survive a market crash. No, this doesn't cost any money. It's just changing what you're doing in a real estate wholesaling business, right? And the best thing to have is somebody who's actually dealt with a real estate crash, which is you, right?
Yeah, I can tell you everything I did wrong, but we're going to stick to the 10 rules to really protect you. And you guys understand this. Nobody knows exactly what's going to happen in the market. When people make predictions, they're doing it more for views than anything. There's only one man upstairs that knows what's going to happen. So you have to anticipate it. We just recently went through a time we thought the opposite was going to happen. Yeah. And, you know, it went the other direction. So now we're at a time. Remember, real estate is an ebb and flow game. It's really been stacked for the last 10 years. So I think everybody needs to prepare for this. We're seeing signs in our market, and we're going to show you signs you look for in your local market.
Yeah, exactly. So let's kind of break down. I mean, Rick was making more money during a crash than before, and we're going to show you some of the steps that we've taken and steps we're taking now, even when real estate's kind of shifting to a point. We've been saying this for years on this channel. Like, if real estate starts changing, we're going to tell you exactly what to do. And we show you proof. Like, we showed you last week a $50,000 real estate wholesaling deal we made in a changing market because we followed the 10 rules we stepped out. These are the 10 rules Rick did to survive his real estate wholesaling crash, and how he actually thrived during, and how you can thrive during the same thing. I know we're not going to charge you anything. So if you do me a favor, smash that like button and subscribe. I'm telling you, it means the world to us, and it lets everyone get this information for free. So let's kind of break this down. So number one, don't panic, right? I feel like a lot of people out here start panicking. A lot of people stop shop. They stop their marketing. They stop everything. And this is a time where you actually have to market more and talk to sellers more versus stopping everything, right?
So, like, honestly, number one is the most important one.
Yeah.
With the sensation of social media, people tend to pile on. And so when you hear statements like, I heard, someone told me, somebody said, when you hear anything like that, you need to just, like, you got to take a step back, because your gut reaction is like, oh my God, the market's falling apart. I got to stop wholesaling. I'm telling you, the exact opposite happens. Wholesaling is not long-term speculating. You're in, you're out. So as the market shifts, your prices usually go down and your buyers get better deals and the sellers get less. Yep. It works all the way down. I'm telling you right now, if you get in that panic mode and freak out, don't do it, because the ones who stop are the ones that get hurt the worst. If you're truly doing wholesaling, not speculating, not long-term buy and hold, not the BRRRR method or anything like that, you'll be fine, because wholesaling works in any given market. Period.
I've had people say, you know, Zach, cash buyers are stopped. Cash buyers don't stop. Nobody knows the bottom of a real estate market. Kind of like stocks. Like in 2008, when the stocks were crashing, people are still buying it, right? Yeah. Even during the last situation, I'm not going to say the panoramic, like cruise stocks, right? Cruises stopped. The stocks for those cruises didn't go to zero. People are still buying because they didn't know when the bottom is. Cash buyers, rental people that flip houses, they're still going to buy. Everyone thinks real estate moves like a stock market where it crashes 20% in like a week. No, it's like a percent a week is like insane,
Yeah.
right? That's like 5% a month, like real estate prices going down. It's insane. So if you get a good enough discount, like we teach you, you're going to be fine. You actually make the same amount of money wholesaling during a crash during regular times.
Yeah.
Hear me out. Here, one example, and then we'll get into you. If you're used to locking up a deal for 100K and selling it for 120K, which is a lot of people's bread and butter. I know a lot of people in Detroit that lock things up for 30K, sell it for 40, make 10. All you got to do in this example is go from locking up from 100 to 80 and then selling it for 100, and you're still making the same 20,000. The cash buyer wants a discount, but the seller's going to understand real estate's going down to a point. Boom, you make the same $20,000. You don't own the real estate. This is a real estate wholesaling video. In wholesaling, you don't own it, which is your advantage.
So the key is you have to do wholesaling. In the last 7 years, wholesaling, a lot of it's turned into this, I call it wholesaling, meaning you buy something at a 5 or 10% discount and then you get a premium because people want it. Those days, I'm telling you, that is not wholesaling. And if you've done it that way, you need to shift, which brings us to number 2.
Yeah, I mean, number 2 here is adapt. You have to adapt, guys. The people that don't adapt are going to get destroyed. You know, look at companies over the years, right? BlackBerry, they didn't adapt. They wanted to keep the buttons, and they lost. If you keep to what used to happen in wholesaling, where you lock it up for an insanely high price, you don't even calculate ARV anymore, and you just bid it out to a cash buyer and you make 50K, it's not going to work like that. Your cash buyers, the ones that are still buying cash, they're smart. Like, they're not dumb, okay? They didn't get $250,000 in their bank account all cash from just being dumb, right? A lot of the cash buyers that were overpaying, I'm not calling them dumb, but they're not as real estate savvy as the ones buying during a crash. And as someone that has been through a crash, and you've always taught me, and you've dealt with, and I've looked up in the past and looked at everything, the people that are buying in 2009, 10, and 12, they were smart, savvy investors, right?
They are. So you got to understand, a cash buyer buys based on supply and demand. So we've had little supply really over the last 4 years, especially the last 2 years. So they've been willing to reach, and I mean really reach. And a lot of you, if you've been doing it that way, God bless you. But you really need to adapt, because that truly wasn't wholesaling, in my opinion. Okay, that's not the core. And honestly, it's never really happened that way before in the entire 20 years I've been doing it. So you've got to understand that. So they have more options. Guess what? They're going to work with the person that prices it right, is flexible with them, and gives them really good. It's not our job to give them comps, but the better comps you give them and like accurate repairs. The days of just saying, listen, it needs 10 grand to repair when it needs 50, they're going to write you off their list. Yeah. So guys, the only thing that changes is cash buyers have more availability. You just have to meet their demand. So what? If you're getting a 25, 30% discount and the price dropped to 1 or 2% that month, you will survive in wholesaling.
Yeah.
If you're buying on 3 to 5% margins, you will never survive in doing it. Guys, stick to wholesaling. You have to adapt. Markets change. That's how markets ebb and flow.
If you were used to do bandit signs, like when I started out, I did only bandit signs, and bandit signs stopped working. I could have just been like, okay, wholesaling's not for me. No, I switched to other marketing channels. Maybe the marketing channel you're doing now is not going to work, and you got to switch it over. Maybe your list is not working. Yeah. This brings us back to number 3 here, and this is reaching out to really motivated sellers. Right now, you have to reach out to motivated sellers. Now, if your seller says, I might want to sell, I don't know, give me an offer, that is not going to be a good wholesaling real estate deal. If real estate goes down another 20, 30%, you cannot be having these conversations. There's going to be more motivated sellers. When the price of real estate goes down, the amount of motivated sellers go up. And you got to understand that if there's a ton of more like deals, you're going to have to sift through the best ones, right? And the biggest difference I can tell you is you have to deal with sellers that need to sell, not sellers that want to sell, right?
Yeah. So once again, in the last 4 or 5 years, we've been taking sellers that just want to sell. You find a slight discount, and a lot of wholesalers have worked that way. I've never taught that way. I've never done it that way, but it's been a gift for the last 3 or 4 years. Yeah. Those days are 100% over. Guys, the motivation has to be there. If the property's not motivated and the seller's not motivated, you have zero shot of having a deal. Do not waste time. Only focus on your core motivated sellers. That will guide you through any bad market. I'm here to tell you, you cannot reach the people that just want to sell. People who need to sell is who you need to talk to.
Number 4, government lists are king. We love government lists. They are king. I'm telling you guys right now. If you're used to just pulling a high equity list and just cold calling that all day, the cool part is you're going to get a lot of actually more people, but the problem is they're going to be less motivated. And kind of like we said, number 3 here, you got to reach out to more motivated sellers. Government lists are going to be the key here. So if you look at overall people that need to sell a property versus want, a lot of them are going to be in the government list category. So if I am 3 or 4 payments behind on my mortgage and the bank's about to take it over, I'm going to need to sell it, right? It's a big difference. My house went on fire. I'm probably going to need to sell it, right? If I have tall grass and a bunch of code violations, I'm going to need to sell it. If it's my grandma's old house 4 states away that I don't want to deal with, that's been just sitting there for years and I haven't taken care of it, and now it's just sitting there, I'm going to need to sell it. The thing is, you got to understand is government lists are going to be the key and most important part here, because a lot of wholesalers are going to just be going after the easy lists, the really lazy ones. And a lot of people aren't pulling government lists. Now, a lot of y'all watching, they are pulling them. But if you just look at your market in general, government lists are actually going to be spiking during these times, right?
Yeah.
If you look at code violations, you look at vacant properties, the only thing that doesn't spike is probates. But really, a lot of these government lists, pre-foreclosures, they spike up during these times, which means if you're used to just pulling the pre-foreclosure list and it's 100 a month, it might go to 200 or 300 a month, right?
Yeah.
And it's right for you guys for the picking. So guys, government lists are absolutely king here.
And they're free.
Yeah, they're absolutely for free.
They're
So
free.
Number 5 here, old tactics still work, and old tactics are actually going to work. So the tactics that you used in 2012, 2013 are going to be really good. So one tactic that you used to do back in the day that I actually picked up on the way you still use in our business is going to real estate auctions, right? Like if I got to find a cash buyer for a deal in this city, maybe I go to the local real estate auction and I just go there. I meet with 15 realtors that are actively bidding on real estate, and I build those connections. And what is it, like an hour at the auction, and you build like 20 cash buyers?
Yeah, it's like going to a RIA for free, and you get to kind of find out what people's doing. There's a reason old tactics work in down markets, because they're time tested and they work. So if it works and it survived 20 plus years, you're a fool not to use it. So in the last 10 years, specifically the last like 6 years, you guys have had so many bells and whistles. You've been told you got to do volume, you got to pull all this data, guys, this stuff adds up to be a lot of money. I've always told you this day one. Why do you think everyone's going back to old school tactics? Number 1, they're legal. And number 2, they're proven. A lot of the stuff that gets washed out with laws and statutes is because they're just too invasive for customers. Too many people saturate the market. Too many coaches sell it, and we go back to it. A lot of people rag on direct mail. It ain't cheap, but it's legal. It's 100% legal, and you cannot get in trouble doing it, and you can scale it with that. That's old school. Dude, cold calling has been around forever. Long before I've been on this planet. Long after I'm gone. You got to do it the correct way. It works really well. All this other stuff with the new technologies, SMS and all that stuff, it's
good.
Some of it comes and goes, and just like, so you should find some core old school tactics, because they will survive you through these down times and give you that consistency leads that work. And guys, I'm like, why reinvent the wheel? Just get something that works and put your spin on it, and usually do very, very well.
Yeah, I mean, some old school tactics that are kind of new school to a combination is door knocking. The problem is people have Ring doorbells right now. So if you have those yellow sticky notes, I'm telling you, people have been doing it old school in different industries. I mean, heck, door hangers, like, it works, guys. These are old school tactics that you can still use today. Cold calling the 4 rents, networking.
Guys, just going out, going to your RIA meetings, and you go, oh, no, I've been doing so well, I don't need to do that. Listen, don't go there and buy all the product, pay your fee at the door, $10, $20, and just get to know everybody. And you will get so much information. Go to multiple meetings and find out, and that's where you can really elevate your game. I will tell you, during the down markets, I made a living at the RIAs, because you need intel and you need deals, and that's the best place to go find them.
Hands down. So number 6 here, you need to the amount of time that you've been spending the last year with your cash buyers and building cash buyers, you're going to need to double it. hands down. Even like following up with your cash buyers,
Yeah.
building that relationship, you're going to have to double it. The thing is, there's a push and a pull in real estate wholesaling during like different times where, you know, finding a deal is harder and then finding the cash buyer is easy. Basically the last 3-4, basically I'll say the last 2 years, okay? Finding a wholesaling deal is really hard. Like it's really hard. Finding cash buyer is really easy, right?
Easy.
And when crashes happen, it kind of flips. Where I've been saying this for years now, right? Where finding a cash buyer is really hard, but finding a deal is very, very simple. And we're not like, we're kind of like this right now where it's still hard to find a deal, but cash buyers are getting a little bit harder too, to a point. And it's kind of a weird market, but like once the seller starts shifting over, it's going to pump up. So right now, cash buyers are hard. So cash buyers are easy and they actually get harder, but the sellers are going to be easier. So it's like it moves in a different pendulum. So just understand that part of it. You're going to have to spend more time with your cash buyers.
And what I mean by more time is, dude, I'm talking about just go meet people for a cup of coffee, maybe a lunch. You can do dinner if you want. And honestly, the more you can find out what your buyers exactly want gives you a lot more leadway on deals, because you're going to get more and more deals that cross your pipeline. So you got to find buyers that will buy in any situation. When they do, oh my God, it's so nice when you get like a full, I go, oh, this guy's been looking in this area for this type of rehab. It's right up there. It's perfect. So spend time with the buyers. A simple cup of coffee is usually will make it work well. Ask for referrals from your cash buyers. They all know each other. And honestly, I'm going back to this. If you go to urea, the heaviest hitter cash buyers are always in there. They're usually older gentlemen or females, and they know where to go look for deals. Find that person in the room and then take them out for a cup of coffee. Guys, if you spend time and get that intel, you'll have a deal that you might not have been able to work, but because you connected with the buyer and you spent time with them, the sky's the limit on the deals.
Oh, yeah. Number 7 here, start reverse drawing for dollars. I had a whole step is on this because door knocking, hands down, I don't care what anyone says, the best pound for pound. If you only give me 100 at-bats to get a deal in front of a seller, door knocking is the best one, right? And door knocking is not the best. It's the best one pound for pound, but it's not fun. It's very time intensive.
It's stressful.
It's stressful. So if I can combine door knocking with direct mail, but making it practically free, and add drawing for dollars, it's reverse drawing for dollars. And right now, I can tell you that not a small percentage, but a sizable minority of wholesalers in your market watch our channel. And we are actively the only real estate wholesaling channel that talks about reverse drawing for dollars. Yeah. I mean, I was talking to somebody the other day on their live. He's like, Zach, I did 400 drawing for dollars leads. Zero, like I got a good amount of callbacks. I got like a 10% contact rate back from drawing for dollars. I only got it in front of 40 people on a 400 list of drawing for dollars in Dallas, right? Kind of a saturated market. Yeah. And he's like, I don't know what to do. And I basically said, reverse drive for dollars. Guess what he did? He called back, and you guys can see last, if you're this is Monday today. So if you're looking at last Wednesday, I had this conversation, fourth dude I talked to. He actually did, you know what, fine. He did 100 reverse drive for dollars, 4 qualified leads, a bunch of appointments, and a 30% response back rate. And that was only after a week. It's probably going to be pushed up to 40%. Yeah. Do you know direct mail that's 40% contact rate back? No, it's like 1% at most. Our mailingmastery.com, we have a 2% postcard, but at 1%, that's 40 times better than direct mail. The power of door knocking, and he only did 100 of them. And so reverse drawing for dollars, guys, we have actual data. We use it in our market. And it's not an anomaly that's working. It's working everywhere around the country. It works.
It's really common sense, and it's actually a derivative of some of the old school stuff. It just makes it efficient. So if you have fears of doing the door-to-door knocking, which I started out doing, this is the perfect fit because you only deal with the people that want to communicate with you.
Exactly. And just put a little sticky note. Hey, this is Zach. Hey, this is Rick. Give me a call back. I had a quick question on the property. Put a phone number there. Google Voice.
Oh, you just let the cat out of the bag on the course.
Oh, yeah. $5,000, whatever. So number 8, this is really important. To get results that others don't, you have to do what others won't. So number 8 here is you have to do what other wholesalers aren't willing to do. And this is a bunch of stuff, right? Number 1, most wholesalers aren't willing to pull a probate list from the courthouse or go in person, pull a fire damage property, pull a arrest record list.
It's a lot of work, Zach.
It's a lot of work. If you want to get, I've said this a million, this is an Inky Johnson quote, and I love this quote, but like I'm going to say it again. To get the results that others don't, so to get a lot of deals, because others don't really do that, you have to do what others won't. So you have to do what other people aren't willing to do. You look at the top athletes, the top business people, they do the stuff that everyone around them and their peers aren't willing to do. Kobe Bryant worked out when he was like 16, 17 years old, like 5-6 hours a day. Nobody around him was doing that.
Mm-hmm.
He got up early, stayed up late. He did, and if you look at him during his career, he was doing the stuff that no other person was willing to do. And the same principles apply to wholesaling real estate. Now, I'm not telling you to work 150 hours, but you got to go after the lists and just start doing that grunt, sweat, equity stuff that other people aren't willing to do.
Guys, remember, what you practice in private, you get rewarded in public for. And it's no different in our business. So you got to look at it like you are only racing against you. So look at like a cross-country race. You're constantly trying to beat your personal record. So when we talk about this, not only does it do it after the core part of your wholesaling, which you got in the beginning, you got to just be marketing like there's just no tomorrow, because you need volume, because you don't have the experience, and volume will stack the odds in your favors. So when you do get a motivated seller, you got to make sure you go out of your way to get that deal to the finish line. So the one thing everybody can relate to, I know you can relate to, I know I can, is wholesaling always has a bunch of roadblocks between this and the profitability of a deal. A lot of people just go, oh my God, I didn't know I was going to have this. You need to anticipate it. Hey, the driver, he doesn't have a car to get to the closing. Okay. Get an Uber and get him there. Like, if you got to throw him in your car, like, I get it. I've done that before. Like, everything. If you have to offer a moving van, you're going to have to do things that normally you didn't have to do before. And you guys have shunned away. I'm just telling you, you've got to go that extra yard and get it done. First, you have to commit, and you've got to have the conviction to be the best wholesaler you can be. And don't compare yourself to me, Zach, or anybody on the internet. Did you do the best today? Did you spend 80% of your time marketing and you're just starting out? If you didn't, you need to fix it. Guys, you have got to do what others aren't willing to do. That is the difference. The bottom line, to sum it up, is you've got to be able to do what others aren't willing to do. If you truly want to be a successful wholesaler, stop comparing yourself to everybody else and go for your personal best every day.
Exactly. So number 9 here, this is a really big key point. Stay below your median home price. What do I mean by this? Guys, we did a deal last week, which I kind of mentioned before, $49,700, $50,000 real estate wholesaling deal, right?
Uh-huh.
We bought the house for $150K, sold it for $215, right?
Mm-hmm.
The average median home price in Port St. Lucie is $400,000, which is crazy. It's up 40%, which is like mind-blowing to me. But you got to understand, there are a lot of starter homes, ugly houses that don't fit the build of the average house. These are mostly houses built old. So I know houses in like Northeast Ohio that were built in like 1884, right? Like really old. But like the houses near us are built in the 60s, 70s, 80s that aren't really up to today's standards. They're like 1,200 square feet, maybe 2 or 3 bedrooms, like not the craziest sexy ones out here, but they are still starter homes. They're very cheap houses. And really, these are where you get. So once you start equating that ugly houses equal really big, nice deals, you're going to be way more successful in this business. So stay below the median home price in your area. We're not like Ryan Serhant over here, dealing with really nice, pretty houses, right? We're dealing with these ugly houses, and to a point, most of your deals are going to be below the median home price, the median selling price too. We do ones over it, obviously, but not like an insane amount as you think. Most of our 50, 60, 70, 80, heck, $100,000 plus houses are always below the median home price. So if you're targeting houses above that, I want to be doing it. You're wasting time and you want to be as efficient as possible. So you can only cold call 5 hours a day. Mm-hmm. Make sure you're cold calling homes that are below the median home value price, right? Yeah,
and that'll ensure that you get the highest demand for your properties, your contracts you're reselling, and that will eliminate hey, I can't find a cash buyer. If you have it priced right and you have it below the median price, you will find cash buyers because they're the properties that have the highest demand.
Exactly. I mean, cash buyers want to deal with cheaper houses, right? You get better ROIs, especially in our market, right? Most markets, like if you're below the median home price, you actually get a better ROI on the rentals. Flips are a lot cheaper, right? there's more cash buyer demand and it's easier. And lastly, the most important part about this is this is a psychological thing, I'm pretty sure, but like, who is willing to take in 17% discount off the ARV of their house? A person that owns a $5 million house or someone that owns a $50,000 house, right? It's just like what? 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 grand for like a cheaper house off the discount, and they don't deal with closing costs and the hassle. Versus when it's like a $5 million house, right?
Yeah, they count every penny.
They count every penny. So it just like taking a 20% discount off a house that's $5 million is just, it's so much harder for someone to deal with. But when it's a cheaper house and it's really ugly, a lot of people just want to get rid of it for cash. And that's why you might want to sell in, like you might trade in a phone, even though there's like a $20, $30 difference between it. It's not worth the hassle. But if you're going to go do a car or like a really big yacht, you might just want to sell it yourself. That's kind of a principle, right?
Yeah. So guys, staying below that median price keeps you away from like the more astute sellers. And remember, you're beginning, you need as much volume as possible. We want to give you the highest success rate. In our experience, staying below the median price will help you get through a difficult market. And as you get more experience and stuff, then you can exercise and go higher.
Exactly. And then the last one of the most important ones, but this is go for no. Like, you're going to have to lowball so much more with your sellers now than you have before.
Yeah.
And you can't get upset if someone's upset that you lowballed. Like, real estate's going down to a point, or it might correct. There's no shame in lowballing. You got to go for that no, guys, because if you say it the right way that we teach at freewholesaling.com, like a trial close, the good cop, bad cop, the volley strategy, you're not getting kicked out for lowballing. The people that get kicked out for lowballing or that lowball and the thing goes wrong, they never use the strategies that we teach absolutely for free.
Yeah.
And that's the biggest problem. And that's the problem people have at like freewholesaling.com and learning from us for free. They feel like the value of the education is worse because it's free. It's actually better because we run a 7-figure wholesaling operation and we tell you what works and what doesn't. So for us running a 7-figure operation, we always condition the seller. We always do a volley technique, a good cop, bad cop. And if you start using that, you're going to be able to lowball sellers, which is going to make you so much more money. That combines to doing it others won't. Other people in your market won't lowball, which means they won't get the insane prices you do.
Yeah. So nobody's been going for no in the last 5 years, really 10 years.
Yeah.
And I'm here to tell you, you have to go for it. So think about this. Have that difficult conversation up front. It's not really difficult as long as you use our methods. Or you can have a very, very painful conversation 50 times after, and cash buyers say, listen, you just want too much for the property. I can't make it work. There's nothing more painful than going back to the seller to try to get in a price adjustment. You're better off just getting the correct price first, and then everything else is easy after that. So the days of going and get corrections and changing, you're not going to get that anymore. So get the right price up front. Have that difficult conversation. Use our training so you can go for no and not insult the person. Yeah. And then you can go around to your cash buyers. Do not do it in reverse order. It's so painful, especially in a crashing or a market that's declining.
Exactly. So guys, if you want to learn everything about wholesaling real estate, the most important part about adapting all this stuff is getting educated. So if you want to get educated in wholesaling real estate, do us a big favor. Just go to freewholesaling.com. That is our free wholesaling course. You want to learn all the strategies we teach, reverse drawing for dollars, reverse wholesaling, like all the strategies we show you. And we kind of talked about today, the old school tactics, government list, how to pull it. It's all at freewholesaling.com, the right scripts, how to talk to title companies. All this stuff is so important right now. And it's all at freewholesaling.com. It's our $10,000 course. We literally sell it for probably $10,000. We just give it to you for free. Yeah. So go to freewholesaling.com. We want to show you everything you need to know. And last but not least, make sure you hit that subscribe button, smash that like button, and we'll see you soon. This is Zachin signing out.
Ricken signing out.
Don't panic. These are changing times. You're going to make the same, most likely more money during this time. If you listen to a guru, you're probably going to lose a lot of money. These gurus are scared, I'm telling you, because they can't sell you a $10,000 course during a crashing market. And that is the main reason why they're flipping out. They look scared. They're saying things like, I'm fearing this market. I'm scared. Because they know they can't sell you a guru course. And that's the biggest reason. We're not scared. We're here to make a ton of money. We got a lot of money in the bank. We're putting into assets. And most importantly, we're going to put that into wholesaling, make a ton of money. Mm-hmm. And this is times where we're going to get rich, and you can get rich also. So guys, smash the like button and subscribe, freewholesaling.com, and we'll see you soon. Have a blessed one.